So there are lots of different ways to teach your dog how to do certain behaviours. So from a broad training point of view, we're doing what's called positive reinforcement. So adding something pleasant as the consequence of a behaviour to make that behaviour more likely to happen again. So the dog does a sit, he gets a treat, he's going to sit again in the future. The different techniques that we use to get the dog in the sit, however, there are four main ones that I'm going to talk through today. So the first one is luring. So imagine you've got a little piece of food, this is your dog's face, a little bit of food on your dog's face. As you move that food around, your dog's face is going to move around. So if your dog was standing up, you put that piece of food right on the tip of their nose and move it up and back. Their head's going to go up, their bottom's going to hit the ground. So we call that luring. The same if your dog was in a seated position and you wanted them to do a drop or a down, we could use that little piece of food to lure their head down and out. So luring is really simple. It's good for novice dog owners and trainers and dogs that are learning as well. It's really, really simple. That's the positive. The potential negative is that the dog becomes way too reliant on the food. So they see you've got that little piece of food to make them do things, and if you don't fade out that food quick enough, which we'll talk about in a second, it becomes part of the cue. So the dog goes, oh, sit means put your bottom on the ground if mum's holding a piece of food. And they become really, really reliant on that food. So if you are luring, once your dog's done a couple of repetitions of, say, the sit gets the treat behaviour, then we're going to fade out the lure. And what that means is we're going to have the exact same hand movement, but without that piece of food in our hand. Really importantly, the dog still gets a piece of food for doing it. So they still get that reinforcer. It's still going to mark. So you're going to, yes, click your clicker when their bottom touches the ground, their chest touches the ground, whatever that you are teaching them. But you are not going to have that piece of food in your hand. So you'd have it in your pocket, you'd have it on the bench, you'd have it in your treat bag ready to go. You would lure them, yes, grab it out, give it to them quickly. So they still get reinforced, it's just not in your hand. Once your dog is really, really comfortable at doing that, so you can guarantee when you do this with your hand, they're going to sit. When you do this, they're going to lie down. What you can do is then add the cue. So you would go, sit, yes, and get that food out of your pocket. Sit, yes, get that food out of your pocket. So your dog learns the verbal cue, followed by the visual cue, the hand movement. They do the behaviour, which is marked, and then reinforced or rewarded. So they'll start to link that word to the behaviour that they did, then the reward, they're going to repeat that behaviour. So that is luring.